right, construction champions, it's your host, Ron Nussbaum, and we're here for another fire episode of Construction Champions Podcast, where we dive into what does it take to be the champion in the construction industry that you were meant to be. We're here with another amazing guest. Kolton, I am super excited to have you on the show today.
Oh yeah, glad to be here.
Awesome, man. Why don't you tell all the construction champions out there a little bit about yourself and what got you here to today?
All right, yeah. So not sure, how far back you want me to go, but I got in the restoration industry in 2012, working for my aunt and uncle actually at the time. Worked my way up through the ranks there. Started out, at the very bottom, just bagging trash, all the way up to marketing. And then some big changes came. The end of 21. I wasn't interested in being a part of the changes, so I started planning on starting my own. And of course, when my uncle at the time found out, he was like, "Yeah, fired on the spot." I was like, "All right, no problem." Made it easy on me, so I wasn't sure how I was going to have that conversation with them. Yeah, I mean, that puts me here now. About 12 years in the industry. And then, yeah.
Awesome. Well, we had a great opportunity to meet each other in Arizona a while back. And like I said, I'm super excited for the conversation today and to get your input on the $1 million question. So I'm just going to ask it. That is, what makes a construction champion?
So construction champion, obviously, the construction industry as a whole, it usually lacks integrity for certain aspects of it. So I think making sure that when you are out there and you're with your clients, you're giving them the best option to fix their problem. Of course, you always go for the upsell, stuff like that, but not taking advantage of their situation, not really just or make sure you're putting a good product out there, a good service, and that what you say you're going to do, you're going to do it.
Awesome. I love that, because that is definitely something as an industry we have to be good at, is having that integrity, putting that product out there, but at the same time, walking our customer through what is best for them. And so a lot of times that might be stuff that was not originally thought about. I think we can have customers that think this is what I feel the scope of work is, but really to get there, there's a lot more involved. So I know you do this on a daily basis. How do you help your customers walk through this?
So with me being in the restoration industry, usually I'm walking into a disaster. That's kind of where I got the name Diamondback Disaster Services. But it's really just guiding them through the process, start to finish, and laying out that plan that's going to get their home back to the way it was, if not maybe a little bit better.
Yeah, and so the disaster industry, I love, one of the things I love about having you on today is because I wanted to dive into that, because you really are like the front lines, the worst possible situation. When you walk in there, there's a lot of stress involved because something has happened that probably was unexpected, and now it has to be corrected. So you really have to walk a fine line with your customers and work them through the process of what does this look like in a high stress situation. Is that, at least that's how I see it. Is that pretty correct?
Yes. Yeah. No, 100%. You have some clients that are very, very, very emotional, and you try to walk them through it. They want to push back. They don't want to believe that you have to essentially tear a part of the house apart to fix it. But through guiding them, through explaining the situation, that the industry knowledge that comes with it, and what can transpire if you don't take care of the damage. And it's actually more costly down the road, especially with water damage. You let water damage sit too long, it's eventually going to mold, and now it could be a hazard to your health, and it's a heck of a lot more to remediate than it is to mitigate. Yeah, and then you have those clients that are just they understand the situation. They will do whatever it takes, and they're on board. Like, hey, you're here to fix it. I trust you. Take care of it.
Yeah, and I mean, having integrity in both those situations is so important because you can go overboard when you have somebody that
Yep.
just fully trusts you, but also being able to have that integrity to walk that homeowner through the process of this is why we're doing this, or this is why this has to happen. Like you said, when you're coming in and you end up having to rip out a lot more of an area than what most people are thinking, which is typically the thing that happens when you deal with a restoration situation where it was a flood or fire or mold or any kind of leak or anything like that. I know you work with a lot of builders doing this as well, and that intrigues me because we're the Construction Champions podcast, and I believe in collaboration, in doing things together. Like, we're better off doing it together in the industry. How did you come about building those relationships with those builders?
Yeah, so actually builders is a market I definitely want to get into. But I mean right now the new home builders, but as of right now, I have a couple relationships with some roofing companies, some plumbers, property management, insurance agents, even the adjusters. So, trying to get as close and direct to the insurance company as you can. So I mean, like with plumbers, obviously sometimes a pipe breaks, homeowner thinks to call the plumber first, and then at that point the plumber, which you got to be careful with the plumber market. You got to make sure you associate yourself with the right plumbers, because that can get hairy pretty quick. And then when it comes to roofing, obviously most people call a roofer when it's leaking and you got water coming through the roof. So just building those, you know, getting out there, showing that value of essentially being an extension of their company. Like, hey, you're out there to fix the roof. You can add that extra layer of service to get me on board. And as soon as you're done with the roof, I'll come in, make the inside look good, and collectively, we just solved all this customer's problems.
I love that because at the end of the day, that's what it's about, is solving those customer problems. Uh, you're killing it out there. I see you all over social media. You're doing amazing things. On Diamondback, it's growing rapidly and quickly. What are you doing to set yourself up for that success?
Just keeping after it, keeping that service mindset. Not trying to strike it rich off of every single claim that crossed my desk. Just doing what needs to be done, just exactly to get the home back to pre-loss condition. Keeping that integrity, winning if there is a problem, jumping on it as quickly as I can. So as of right now, strictly referral based for the most part. We do have a small Google, that we'll get some leads through there, but really don't pay for leads. It's all relationship based. Um, and I have a full-time marketer now, so she's out there building those relationships, spreading the word of what we can do, and being the extension of either a roofing company, being the extension of a plumbing company, or even an insurance agency, and even the adjusters, like I mentioned before, just truly be an extension and pretty much a tool in their tool belt.
I love that. So we're going to dive into that because that's completely amazing that you're just running a completely referrer business, and it's not a small business. Like, that to me is amazing. What got you down that road, and why has that been so successful for you? Because we hear a lot of time in the construction industry, like, that's hard. Like, that's the business you want, but it's the hardest business to go out and get. And here you are you mastered that and you run a business off of it. So I'm sure the champions out there would like to know the insight and secrets to this.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's really I started out cold calling, so no relationship, literally just walking into their office or calling them on the phone, trying to express the value I could bring. Pop in with coffee, pop in with lunch, offer those lunch and learns, breakfast and learn, or, even just a quick coffee meeting or coffee date. Um, and really you know, um, I don't know, being confident that I can solve yours and your client's problems. Because I mean, when it comes to an adjuster, you know, there's a bunch of contractors, um, that do what I do. And some of them, they're backlogged, or they just don't have that service first mentality. So they'll get to it when they get to it. And literally, I'm a type A personality. So I'm action. So when someone calls me and they have an issue, no matter what I'm doing, I mean, I've dropped what I'm doing and I'm on the road and I'm there in that client's house as quick as I can be. So just really being there for them. And when there are problems, explaining the problems, blowing the bomb up before, because everyone's going to mess up. It's inevitable. So the sooner you can grab a hold of it and come up with that solution, being the problem solver. Like, hey, we got the problem. Sure, I apologize, but here's what we're going to do to fix it. And just being there to resolve everything, whether it's a problem you caused or just the reason why you're there, essentially.
That's awesome. So a lot of action, getting in there, being willing to take that first step in that relationship and just start reaching out. I'm sure you did a lot of reaching out with nothing coming back. And then eventually you started seeing that trickle in and those relationships being built. And then it sounds like too, you nurture that relationship. Just like anything, you're out there, you're in front of them, you're continuing to add value to what they're doing so then you can add value to their customers.
Yep. Yeah. 100%. Just being that extension, being able to, hey, you know, you, you're, when that client. So what I tell a lot of companies is, yes, we all offer service, we all provide a product, but when our clients need more from us, being able to have that in your tool belt, offering it, and it going successful, it's the outcome was good. It makes the referral source look phenomenal. It helps build their relationship with that now mutual client, and helps them grow and helps me grow.
I love that. That's a great way to look at it when you talk about how can you build a better relationship for that referrer source with that customer. So stepping in there, you're not just trying to solve the problem, you're trying to build a word where now that customer is going to keep coming back to that person that referred you and create this environment where everybody's just helping everybody out. I truly believe, like with what I do, I always look as how do we make that contractor, that builder, that home service, how do we make them better throughout it when I'm working with people? And like at the end of the day, that's what we have to do. Like we have to be looking at is how do we make somebody better? One of my core values is people greatness. Like if we just all went into it with the mindset of I want to make this person great at whatever it is they do, is how do I fit in to really help them out? And it sounds like that's what you're doing, not just from a referrer standpoint, but also with your customers.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I like to bridge that gap, and just make sure that just make everything go as smoothly as possible for all parties involved. Because I know that when I'm referred out, the referral source, they're handing it off to me, to take it off of their plate, so that way they don't have to sit there, and take their time to deal with it. So really just taking ownership of that and, taking, I guess you could say, taking the football all the way to the end zone
I
for the
love that.
touchdown.
That's a good analogy because that's really what it is when that refer comes in, that's a handoff. It's just like you're the running back and the quarterback is handing that off to you, and it's your job to get through to the defense and opposition
Yep.
here and score the points for that homeowner because everybody looks good. The entire team, when that running back breaks free, the offensive line looks good, the quarterback looks good, the coaches look good, everybody looks good when we score that touchdown. I love that. That's a great analogy.
Yep. Yeah. We don't want to have the quarterback meet us at the end zone to finish the job.
Yeah, that's when things can get hairy a few times when you get in that situation. So as you continue to grow here, what's the future have in store for you? As you said, you brought on a full-time marketer. Are you moving out of more referrer based, or are you double downing on that?
So actually my marketer, her whole position is out there, door to door, like what I did, business to business, and trying to build those relationships to help grow our referral network. So I mean, I could add, I could add home advisor leads. I could add Angie's List leads. I could, pay Google X amounts to, pay per click, stuff like that, which, depending on where I go with it, I may get into that. We'll see. I'll see how big I can get with this referral network that we've built and continuing to build, before adding any other, I guess you can say, paid leads.
Yeah, I mean, you're really using a people first strategy of building a network, building those around you to just build a business. Like it's really you're building integrity just through relationships, and you're using that to build a business, which is a lot more legible. Like you can leverage that a lot more than you can Angie's List leads and stuff like paid advertising, that kind of stuff. It truly, when you have that network, people are there to help.
Yep. Oh yeah, 100%. I have, and the, I guess you could say that the resources it takes to service a referral is a lot less than a paid lead. There's a lot more, admin behind it, a lot more follow up. Because I mean, with a referral, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get that project, you're gonna get that deal. It's very rarely they ever go on to the next call.
Yeah, I would agree. That's why it's like the golden ticket within the construction industry is creating that referrer network. And it's super exciting to talk to somebody that's what they're doing, and they're building an entire business off of that. You've offered great insight to everybody out there today. If people wanted to find you or follow you or know about what you're doing, where's the best places for them to find you?
Yeah, so Instagram, I'm that restoration guy. Facebook under Kolton Myers, or our business page, Diamondback Disaster Services. So, and I mean, a quick snippet. I mean, so you got people out there that say the referral network isn't the best way to build the business. I think it's the best way to start it though. I mean, my first 6 months in business, we did 650,000. That wasn't even a full year. That was from June to December of last year. This year, I'm gunning for that 1.5, and we're on track to do it.
I think you're proving that it's definitely a way to be able to go out and build a business. I mean, you're going to do over 7 figures through a referrer network. I mean, most people are trying to figure out how they can get a couple $100,000 a year in referrers coming in, and you have $1 million business doing that. That's absolutely amazing. Kolton, it has been great having you on Construction Champions today.
It was great being here. Thank you.
Awesome. So, all right, Construction Champions, you just heard from a guy that has built a $1.5 million business off of referrers. without going and getting any paid leads from Google, Facebook, Angie's List. And how do you do it? Relationships, taking action, nurturing those relationships, doing it all with integrity, making sure that he always had the customer's best interest in mind in making that referral source look good throughout the process so they can continue to send that business his way. I think there's amazing things in this episode that we can all take to heart and go implement tomorrow in our businesses. Are you out there meeting? Are you say you want more refers, but are you taking the action it takes to get them and go out and meet people and then nurture those relationships after you meet them? Because I can guarantee you, just like most sales calls, it's not going to be a one-time deal where you go out and the fun starts. You're going to have to continue to develop those relationships. So, construction champions, until next time, be the champion you were meant to be.